don't know if anyone can hear me out there. Coming at you live. And yeah, we're gonna do a daily forecast in this universe having to do with the eclipse on April 8th, 2024.
That's right. So, as you might know, here we are in Egypt, and behind us we have the Red Mountain, which is the most important mountain in West Bank, Luxor. And behind there is the Valley of the Kings, and also known as this huge multiple Stargate zone. And that's why they choose that mountain to place all those capsules known as sarcophags to create hibernation processes. But anyway, just giving a small background of where we are at right now. And as you know, we just finished our tour, sacred trip to Egypt. And now we are here for the solar eclipse. So we just wanted to share with you a couple of updates related to that. As Sean said, our forecast, our daily forecast. And well, here we are. So I'm having issues with my Facebook connection, but anyway, it's being recorded here. So.
Yeah, we'll see if this holds up too. Yeah, so thanks for coming. Anyone in the chat, leave a comment, let us know who you are, and we'll, if you got any questions, we'll also go into that, but we're going to go into eclipse and what it means and what is in store for the Earth coming at you. Which weather to expect, if it's inclement or it's, clear days, and you can go fishing. So... what kind of things have you tuned into for this forecast? And as I'll go into the next layer and we go back and forth.
Okay, sure. Well, there is many information in the field going on related to the solar eclipse, whether if it's something good or it's bad. Like even some people relate it to apocalyptic events and so forth. But then again, this happens with every topic.
Yeah, when is the Earth ended from the solar eclipse?
Yeah, it's like that survival instinct is pulsing and pulsing all the time, trying to find a way, a topic to be related with. So, which is okay. I mean,
get you to believe it, and then you create in your own local bubble reality. And there's it's mostly would be local events. You just look at the events of past eclipse and what they do in shaking up the reality, which we can go into a little bit. Which mostly eclipses have happened in ways that have spelled out commonalities in the shaking up of rulership and the system and control mechanisms and management. Is that back?
Yeah.
Okay. And then so it may be a fear event for those in charge and leadership, especially those that may not be leading well, to shake up the reality, especially with the beliefs and those involved in the control system. So it can lead to replacing of management and rulers. There's also been known to have interesting powerful births at the eclipse times, as well as deaths, like deaths of rulers. Deaths, well, that's what people will note anyway in history, like the deaths of kings and emperors and stuff. As well as the crucifixion of Jesus. Apparently there's a blackening of the sky as well. And things like that. But we'll go into the more esoteric events as well. And then these also will affect war and how people are fighting, especially when they're in war during it and they witness the eclipse. So we'll go into that more. Do you have anything you want to say? And then I'll go back.
Yeah, sure. Related to what you're saying about what events have happened throughout eclipses throughout history, we can say that imagine that the sun and the moon, which are the consciousnesses that are mostly influencing our reality in Earth, due to them, for instance, in the case of the moon, its magnetic field, and how it's influencing Earth and the water in everything, in every form of existence in the Earth, and the sun, well, with all the plasma that it's irradiating. So now, can you imagine those two consciousnesses aligned? Of course, it will be generating and influencing deeply the Earth's electromagnetic field. So we know more and more. We have been listening about the relation of the black hole in the universe and in the solar system, and even maybe as being the Earth's nucleus a black hole. And even though, like, not deepening in that topic, but if we take a look about in how a solar eclipse looks like, it's actually a black hole. So from this fractal universe and holofractographic reality, which means holo for holographic and fractal for fractal, like those matryoshkas, those Russian dolls that you open, and then it's one inside and another and another and another and another and so forth. So then that's fractals, and we are fractals to the source, to all. And we also have our own fractals. That's why it's an infinite form of expression of the universe. So from this holofractographic reality, we can see that the shape of the black hole, as well as the torus, is present everywhere. Actually, if we see also a black hole, it is a torus, because it has a black hole inside, and then the circle around it. So by this, what I mean is that it's very simple to understand quantum physics or astrophysics if we focus in the main pattern of everything and how it influences our reality, our body, our geometrical body, our electromagnetic field, and all the bodies, like the main 7 bodies that we have. How can the black hole, or how can a black hole, for instance, in this case, the solar eclipse, if we take a look at the pictures, or how they represent it, it has this white halo, and it's like this plasma field coming. So it's a very good opportunity, as everything comes to perception. Like, if you open up to receive what this solar eclipse has for you, to connect with your plasma body and connecting with the heart, and knowing that the main source of all that energy could most likely be coming in to your field through your belly button. Because if we say in the physical body what would possibly represent the black hole, it would actually be connected to, well,
Press that belly button. Activate it.
that belly
The
button.
navel chakra.
Yeah, yeah. While the torus would represent the anus and the mouth.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Bringing in next.
Exactly.
Spelling, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Just to give a shape to that. So in this case, with the belly button, all that energy, all that plasma energy connecting with our cosmic cordon, or silver cordon, and bringing all those codes of unity in between the the solar consciousness and the lunar consciousness. Because, and also, well, I will go later with that, but if you're related to numerical values and the importance of numbers, 108 is a code that it's quite related to the moon and the sun. Because, for instance, if you multiply the Earth 108 times, it's equivalent to the diameter of the sun. And if you multiply the moon 108 times, it gives you the distance from the moon to the Earth. So also, if you want to connect within to the power of what this eclipse can bring within your field, and all this plasma all this plasma wave field that it's emanating from the pristine lunar energy and solar energy. Uh, you can connect with the code 108.
Um, Interesting. Okay, so yeah, and thanks. Hey, Steve, leave a comment if you're watching this, everybody. Thanks for coming. So, yeah, this also does a lot of things. Most of the solar eclipses that I note have seen so far, as well as lunar eclipses and alignments of the stars, there's like an opportunity for trade and commerce and exchange and energy currents back and forth, such as a portal. So a lot of portals, so you can analyze this one. This one, it's mostly bringing in spirits to incarnate. Souls coming in about in the trillions. Most of them are from Andromeda. There seems to be a trade between galaxies going on, and Earth seems to be hiring mostly big management, gods, in an expression, to be housed in other realms that Earth is newly making for them, like she's making new housing. And some, a little bit of sources, expressional fractals will be coming in, founders, and more management. So this also goes with the micro macro of the reshifting and replacing of management. This will affect a lot of things. Some of the things that are I'm feeling in the field that are okay with being known publicly are big shifts in the U.S., Israel, China, and North Korea for some reason. So let's look for big changes. They may not happen right away, but at least within months or the year time, we'll see some interesting things happen. I already noted on the news big shifts happening in the consciousness and how we perceive leaders. So big things to come. Will be interesting. We'll see if the old is able to grasp still onto power that they weakly hold on to within, and not just in the minds of the people, but their ability to get away with things, and the people letting them get away with things despite like illusions and lies and deception and probably some fraudulent processes to gain leadership. So we'll see what's going on with that. And then even with that happening, that can always create a big shakeup, which I'm excited for. No matter what happens, good timelines in effect of cause and effect in the consciousness for people to wake up. Wonderful. Okay, then, yeah, besides that, there's also the portal going away, which is away from Earth. Other places will do different things, but it's our Earth's alignment, so this will be for Earth. So portal is ejecting corrupt management and corrupt gods. There's not that too many of the corrupt gods, but yeah, it's getting rid of them. So that'll be fun to see where they anchored into in the various chess piece bodies in this reality, and then see how that shakes up things in the ejecting of them and possible walk-ins or death or some weird thing that happens with corrupted beings in this reality, which we'd all love to see them stop being able to control and influence and cause harm to others. So then there's cool opportunities coming, such as, and feel free to stop me if you would like to add more things, because I don't want to take up like back and forth.
Okay.
So opportunities to heal and restore the divine feminine and masculine in each individual, as well as the planet, about 1 trillion times. So use this day and the 2 days after, and a little bit before, but especially after. And while it's happening, especially for that opportunity to heal and amplify and grow your masculine feminine, like a divine twisting cosmic dance between two binary star systems, because they grow together more powerfully about 1 trillion times. So see if you can amplify that and hug them and love them and give them what they need, and purify the toxic traits. And as that goes in whatever ceremony or activity, psychology, activity, meditation, breath work, action, working out that you do in a ceremony, that will amplify that intention as you lock it in. Another big thing that's a good opportunity for people during solar eclipses, as well as this one, is understanding the size of things maintaining war. They shrink down temporarily. This is a good opportunity to those that want to stop wars and bring them to peace, because the predators and the systems that maintain war that is unnecessary. A lot of wars are unnecessary, but it's like, you know, these evil, corrupted beings maintaining power and stuff. That shrinks down. As an example, a lot of wars in history, when they're going on and the people view eclipses, people are in fear. They run away. They stop fighting. They surrender. They flee. They yeah, like Spartans with the Persians as an example, and then other wars in history. It affects the consciousness, and they stop as much. I mean, they stop warring at least temporarily, and this will affect a lot of things. So, in the opportunity of the light that want to stop wars and bring them to peace, or end them entirely, that's a great opportunity for people out there to silently influence that.
Yeah, now that you're mentioning that, like shutdown, to say it somehow, that they say that this eclipse will be about around 4 minutes, like full eclipse. So throughout those 4 minutes, the interferential wave field that the moon, as an artificial satellite, placed over the Earth, gets it's not in coherence anymore, because it's being influenced by the electromagnetic field from the sun and everything that the sun is irradiating. So then, can you imagine those two forces together? What it perhaps result from that is that there is no interferential wave that tunes directly your field to the artificial matrix field. Therefore, manifestation is much easier, because there you are more into a state of coherence with this reality and your electromagnetic field, because there are no forces compelling or like influencing it directly for those 4 minutes. So yeah, about that.
Yeah, and then I've heard there's a lot of memes. It's great. Love seeing more memes coming out. Like an example of 4 minutes syncs up with that song "Total Eclipse of the Heart." So whatever you want to play during that, and then there's some, of course, good and bad, and like some making funny jokes about the eclipse, and the moon mooning the sun, and there's some funny ones out there I've been seeing. Uh, and there's weird things the government does, because they're probably the ones that are in the most fear, and they're trying to project that onto the people because of what it shakes up for them, especially as they understand history and what it means for them. So the regular people shouldn't have to fear. There might be big shifts that are uncomfortable, but things work out for the better in the long term as things detach.
Yes.
Okay, so for another bunch of things that happen is going into the interesting births that happen. So as the micro macro, this all goes up and down infinitely, as within so without, all that. So there's going to be births of unique souls and beings on this planet, and constructs and concepts that for their purpose is to be like a puzzle completion of what the reality needs for various purposes, micro and macro. So you can read into that too, and interesting births that people have. Love to see them. It's rare to meet people that are born on the eclipses, but they're quite interesting, that personality. And say hello if you're born in eclipse. Put in the comments. And Aaron, experiencing a big shift in my life recently, like changes that were not moving before, and all of a sudden making moves. Planning on a sun bath during the eclipse here. Yeah, bring in that sun energy, because there's a lot of stuff the sun is giving off, as well as the moon and the earth. They're emitting, which I'm about to go into as well. So Earth is going through a healing, as an example, of a billion times. So you can take in that good old energy of healing energy. As an example, do you want to say something?
Yeah, sure. But it's more related to the to specify on the code 108. So Yeah, maybe you can.
Sure, sure.
Uh,
Keep going.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so there's also some cool things happening with fading out darkness. So like the fading, at least there's going to be more things than what we mentioned happening. This is what I'm allowed to say publicly. So there's the fading out of 3 negative problem grid systems on the planet that were set up, some at the Roman Empire, as an example, and so that'll be fading out, which will be good. And then the sun has an opportunity to come back after the eclipse. This may not happen. This may happen, especially as more people understand this and see it and believe it and amplify it, because it needs support to do this. So it depends on the individuals that are bringing something to the sun to support it. The sun has the opportunity to come back with 3 times more light when the shifts of things going out of the scene to the scene, which is interesting. And the same thing with it being able to shift even more than that. But let's start with that as an example.
Well, now that you were mentioning about that important birth dates, there is this like Vedic astrology, which is very important, and they relate a lot to the moon. It's like the Islam. They do recognize the sun and the cycles of the sun. Nevertheless, when it comes to powerful forms of reality manifestation, they use the moon frequency. An instance is they have this calendar that registers the birth of a specific ascended masters based on what they call as the navagrahas, which are the 9 planets. No, I'm sorry. The 9 planets, what they call, that are around the Earth, and also related to the moon stations, which are the nakshatras. And each moon station, then again, it's also quite influenced by the moon field. And understanding how, because you were mentioning of the feminine and the masculine, and the like the sun and the moon coming together. Let's say that the earth, the sun, upgrading into a form of blue sun that has been coming for quite a couple of years now. But this is very connected to Pleiades. So let's say that this throughout this solar eclipse, imagine that you are receiving also, if you feel like, of course, if you resonate with this, that throughout those 4 minutes or at the climax of this event, that you're opening up your field to receive from those blue sun codes that are quite related to the upgrades of Pleiades in Alcyon, and that all the photon belt that is now related and that the earth is going through it, it's nourishing you with all that light, with all that plasma, and upgrading your pristine masculine, your primordial masculine. And in relation to the moon, yeah, I can talk about that later because it's a little bit extensive, so I don't want to.
Yeah, and so there's things you can read about all the objects of celestial objects in alignment. So both the sun and the earth are going to be emitting evolutionary energy, about 1,000,000 times more, to amplify the goodness in the consciousness, which was wonderful. I love goodness. Goodness overwhelm. Like I call that the come to Jesus ability, or when you're overwhelming a negative evil force with goodness, and it has a big awakening event in their heart, and feeling love and that light and that amplification of who they really are, and the connection of all, and the ego death, and the releasal of the attachment, of that heaviness on the heart that other people can master. It's wonderful. As we get and we train our ability with goodness to get stronger and stronger to face bigger and bigger darknesses. So that will be happening. So you can also amplify your ability in that, which is wonderful, as well as your overall goodness and purification of evil and transmutation of that. And there's so many goodness abilities. It's wonderful. Goodness is one of the biggest and also oldest forms of energy that exists. And it's also one of what the center of the galaxy, main consciousness, prime creator of the galaxy, prime creator of the universe, fractaling up, that most people call God and pray to, and their prayers go to in the center of the galaxy, is mostly well, it's good at everything, but good. It's really good at that. Uh, So then there's also the moon is amplifying its own healing and the forms of consciousness on it a billion times. It's healing and it's purifying itself. It's wonderful to back to its original purpose from whatever is attached to it, and programming it for any type of negative purposes as that releases and purifies. And every system throughout the universe can be purified back to its original purpose, which will be good, as evil wants to overwhelm it and then bring it to a different thing. Do you want to say anything on that?
Yeah, when we talk about the moon, and like there are many things and perceptions.
And hey, Chris, how's it going?
Grand rise, Chris. Um, yeah, so there is a lot of information related to the moon, whether if it's something positive, whether it's something negative, and yeah, like as coming from a sovereign space with all our power and responsibility, conscious responsibility, our perception is the key to creation, to our creation, how we perceive reality. So the moon has been present throughout all ancient civilizations for a reason. And so important, not only because it influences the molecular structure of the water, which is big enough, something important enough to take always into consideration the moon phases. But also, if we dive into the history of the moon, we will see that, or the ancient civilizations, as the Mayans, would know that there was a prior form to the moon, of the moon, to what we know now as this artificial satellite with a hole in it. And that would be Theia. Theia, it's a planet, and we can see it in the Sumerian tablets talking about Theia, this planet, and talking about the earth as Tiamat. And also in Egypt, they would always place Tot or Tehuti with the moon disk. And we can see that there are a lot of codes in the information here, in the ancient information, that relate the main god, like Yahweh or Allah, to the moon. So why? Control. Yeah, I mean, we can pick up into many of these things. The thing is that in relation to the primordial feminine, there are plates of Theia when it crashed into the earth, and there are precisely in South Africa. So, can you imagine parts of the moon, what we call today and the moon, deep encrusted in the earth's layers, underground layers? So if we take all that information and bring it all together with the moon and unite the moon, those 5 pieces of the moon that in the mythos, in the Mayan mythos, they talk about, then we are uniting, as we unite Osiris, which represents Sirius, which represents Sirius and Orion, and bringing it together, its 14 pieces related to the primordial masculine. Then we can do that as well with the feminine, which is Theia, and its 5 pieces, bringing them together, and then understanding probably why those two forces, the primordial feminine and primordial masculine, were incapable to comprehend each other because they were not united. And if you don't know who you are, it's because you cannot assume your wholeness. If you assume your wholeness, then it's easier for you to know how to deal with yourself, how to be with yourself, how to be yourself. So yeah, this is some big upgrade that I have been receiving, and that I humbly share with you, is that it's very important to take into consideration those parts of the moon that are encrusted deep in the underground layers of the earth, because then we're bringing all the information together, and then it makes sense. It makes sense. Uh, all the information and frequency that we have been feeling about the moon into its primordial state and receive its plasma.
Good point. Okay, I'll read the comments real quick. Sean Isa, is there a link between physical location and percent of the totality of the eclipse observed and the energetics that y'all perceive? Yes, it's like a big ass cannon of energy that comes in a circuit with everyone, especially in the greater proximity of the laser of the direct point. So you're going to get a greater intensity of everything that we mentioned, as well as secret stuff. So that unlocks to you, and mostly those that are in that proximity. And a lot of it I can't talk about here, and you don't even need to tune into it. You can just be as receptive and integrative as possible and loving in a gratitude kind of format as you integrate during the time, and are very thankful with the universe as it is a part of yourself. What would you say to that? And then we'll move on to the next comment. And
Yeah.
let's do the comments until we catch up.
Great. Well, in relation, for instance, to the black hole, what's the purpose of the black hole? Relating it to this huge force of magnetic field, bringing everything and compress it and releasing it into another reality. Imagine that if I was mentioning about tuning into your belly button as a as a black hole and
Watch
connecting
out,
to
she's
the
tuning into your belly button.
and your and the black hole in the Earth's nucleus, and the black hole that is being shown in the total eclipse, and it's a huge gateway for manifestation, for magnetizing this law of, well, that you always mention, the law of attraction. Like going to that level of being capable to magnetize any reality that you want, and because mostly there's no interferential wave, it weakens. So if you want to put out something to be manifested, you can tune into this entangled trinity, which would be the solar eclipse, your belly button, and the Earth's nucleus, and then from that trinity, manifesting what you decide. Well, yeah, what's better for your highest evolutive purpose.
Wonderful. Yeah, we'll go through the comments and catch up. That makes so much sense, actually. When I first visited South Africa, I experienced major energetic downloads because I felt a new and different planetary energy. That must have been what I felt. Wonderful. Thank you for commenting. Yes, lots of planetary energies. They're all consciousness. They're all part of you. They're external organs. Okay. Hail. Amen Ra. Okay. Hail, Koshi. Yeah, if you watch Moon Knight. Sorry about the background noise, people, and the Matrix comes in. Newt, Hail Hafer. Yeah, now unite with the different lower G gods of consciousness that are management in the area. So we're all at peace with infinite, unconditional love. Hello. Yes, hello, Millie. Thank you for coming. North Node in conjunction with the eclipse, by the way. So this is a time for soul dharma initiation. Wonderful. Thank you. Especially if you got a natal there like my son. Okay, cool. Yeah. If you got a big sun, as well, the solar plexus and navel chakra, nourish that sun. Make it feel safer. Get rid of attachments. Purify. It's a good opportunity to do that. The total eclipse and the resetting of things. So I'll go into another subject. Okay. So the opportunity, I'm going to bring this closer because of the sawmill in the background. That's a little, matrixy. Let's see what that's a good opportunity because, like, with the noises and the influence of people and the sound pollution, whenever I see that in the reality, I'm like, oh, what are they trying to do? They silence us. What are they trying to silence? Anything in the topics? Nope, just okay, and I will look for what because they try to stop things. I go for what they try to stop. So I'll look into that. It's talking about global systems. Okay, I'll tune into that in a second. While she's talking, I'll tune into it. So the sun syncing up with the earth, the moon, and the sun is shedding attachment times a billion more than it usually does, and clearing predators. Anything you want to say about that? As the yes, we got some silence.
Do you want to put the phone there or the light?
The light.
Yeah. What do you want to say so we can place it?
Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead. You're saying.
Um, yeah, well, actually, this is very interesting because speaking about predators and so forth, um, there is going again to the Vedic astrology. There is the Vedic, actually, not only astrology, but the Vedic culture is known for embracing the wholeness, taking all the information that there is in the field, not being afraid of it, and if they are afraid of it, just bringing it together from a unified consciousness and use all that information as energy to sublime it into a higher purpose. So, what would this represent? For instance, when you talk about the Navagrahas or the Nakshatras, like most people that are into astrology connect it and link it to bad things, like the worst things that you would possibly connect with because they bring chaos. And the thing is that I mean that's possible if the form of perception allows that and commands it to be that way. Nevertheless, if we allow ourselves to go into another scale, what would this represent? The mastery of the moon frequency, which is a lot of power. And we can see it, like everywhere in this and power spheres, like how they master the moon energy. And as I was mentioning, Tehuti or Dot, always with the moon disk. And then again, the divine forces of Allah and Yahweh, which Yahweh comes from Yah, which is moon. And yeah, I could go forward. But anyway, the thing is that the power of a unified consciousness brings sovereignty. And if you're watching this video, I'm quite positive that you are whether embodying or looking to embody that sovereignty. And when we're capable to unify all the information that is coming into the field, for instance, we will see that these Navagrahas, which are also represented by gods and goddesses, as well as the nakshatras, the 9 planets, and the 28 lunar stations. So these are forces. If you dive into that astrology, you will see that these forces are capable to even any form of entity that might come through the field. Like gaining power, gaining a responsibility, and getting to interact with other forms of consciousnesses that are more evolved, and that sometimes, or actually, love is the presence of that wholeness of assuming all the information and being sovereign with it.
Nice. And yeah, we're getting a lot of messages coming our way. Just like another refresher on the lovely background, Red Mountain. If I can get it full in the shot. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, getting that good energy. This one has a lot of secrets in it, a lot of things underground, and it amplifies dreams quite well. Better dreams than I have throughout the traveling Egypt. So very interesting stuff. Yeah, just like taking a look around at our nice location. Yeah, it's just very beautiful here. Okay. So then we're going back into the comments to catch up on with people. Okay. Hello, Dominic. Hope you have a nice time there. Thank you. Yeah, we are. We're having a lovely time. Enjoying Egypt, going through all the trip Niles. And the temples and the pyramids and big events. Okay, so Chris, as far as higher chakras, do you think this eclipse will help to unlock these as well? I have been working with my 11th and 12th chakra, and I was wondering if I could amplify them with eclipse. That's a good point. Let me see specifically. You can amplify anything. I'd recommend doing it from the center of your solar plexus in your heart from your soul and releasing attachment. And then as you release attachment and you have specified things you want to especially release in attachment to, like the old that you're shrinking down out of your reality, and then you're bringing forth the light of the sun of the reality now you want as you shed off the old, then you can qualify the lessened degree of the chakra you had previously that you're letting go of, and then towards the, the enlightened, greater, not without attachment, well flowing, abundantly generating, and portal bringing in supportive energy depending on which chakra. It will amplify anything, but there's things specific. So like mostly with the solar plexus, it's doing a lot of shifts, and the soul. And to go on previous things that we, things coming into reality, like the birds chirping, which I'll tune into a second. With the Matrix thing, it wanted us to not talk about that you have the ability to amplify the removal of bad leaders. You have the ability times a trillion. It's easier, especially more unified. So wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That thing that the predators of the Matrix don't want you to know right now is that you can amplify that in your meditation and your action and whatever sacred activity that you love to do, dancing, workout, bath, fire ceremony, whatever, get witchy with it, or, magical. Anything you want to say on that, and I'll go forward with more of the messages, and we got some more stuff coming in, and if you wanted to comment on the chakras.
Yeah, sure. Well, then again, as Sean was saying, like, you can use the energy for whatever you feel like using it, because the energy is there, and if you don't use it, someone else will use it, which is what has happened
at least 3 times for anything.
Yeah, like throughout human evolution, that nobody would make responsible for its own energy. So then other forces came and assumed all that energy, and then you have egregors creating institutions and many other things. So if you want to use that energy to focus it in your chakras, then put all your heart, all your intention, and I'm quite sure that it will bring you effects. As Sean was saying, like, there are different layers and scales of frequency, and by this solar eclipse will carrying a specific frequency, it's easier for it to go directly to, in this case, the solar plexus, the plexus chakra. So I mean, if you say it in a ketone, like those experiments where you're playing 432 hertz, and you have something carrying the frequency of 432 hertz, then they start to create this resonance immediately. But if one is 440 hertz and the other one is 432 hertz, it might have influence. Indeed, it will. The thing is that not as if they are coming from the same frequency. So yeah.
Big like factory reset for your solar plexus and purification. Like original source blueprint is a nice one, or other words for that. Okay, going more into the things that are coming to us. Birds are chirping. They're having song play through themselves, as well as the consciousness of the collectives that are coming to us back and forth that we've accumulated as the zodiacs, multiple civilizations coming forward, and having to do with the consciousness influence of being, personality, soul, who comes through. And it mostly wants to talk about, they mostly want to talk about, this is an opportunity about 1 million times for you to understand more of yourself, integrate and resolve vices and turning them into virtues, and understanding the opposites and the polarity of consciousness, and what one can transcend in oneself to make oneself better for the life path you choose, your opportunities, the people you attract in your life, to make it well-rounded as an individual in psychology and the qualities of the self, which then reflect everything else. So that's what the birds bring. And there's also a message from Earth, which had to do with some wind coming in the blowing, because I like to listen to the wind. It says that every individual out there, you have something birthing deep inside you spiritually. It's powerful. It's good. It's going to be supportive. Nurture it. Use this day to nurture it even more, and it'll successfully go through to term and manifest in some way in your life, which will be a secret, and it's going to be individualized, so there's nothing I can like add on to that makes it more, other than it's going to be something when the more love you give yourself and that thing you're birthing, the more powerful it will be when it comes into fruition. So build up that love density inside yourself. Anything you also want to say on that or go into, and then we'll read more comments.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about the zodiac signs, and this is a very extensive topic. And I actually was thinking about it while Chris was asking about the 11th and 12th chakra, because for me, how I read reality is like it was bringing into also that topic, like the 12 zodiac signs. Astrology is very important, and more people is becoming aware of it, because it's no different, and until some extent, like it's if we were talking about astronomy and how these events are quite influencing our reality. Nevertheless, we are to rewrite the story. So everything related to these archetypical forms of manifestation of the subconsciousness or the unconsciousness, translated into zodiac signs, whether if it's the sidereal astrology or whether if it's the tropical astrology, whether if it's the unified astrology.
The wind coming in.
Exactly.
Let's see who's talking
yeah,
this one.
Yeah. So coming into a unified astrology, knowing that there are different scales of reading, the different constellations that are influencing our reality, which there are all of them. That's why in the ancient civilizations, they were all of them. And like that's why they in ancient Egypt they would use the fixed stars. I don't know if any of you who are watching this transmission or will watch it later, but the fixed stars are also very important. The pulsars. I mean, if you connect the pulsar stars, which are neutron stars, the ones that are closest to the Earth, like the one in Cetus, which is next to Pisces, and the one in Sagitta, along with the solar eclipse, well, you're making a major cocktail and deep portal of a manifestation. But then again, it's very important to know how to use them. And mostly, like what Sean was saying about the 12, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you, I'm sharing a lot of information about this and the importance to open up into another reality, like is the sidereal astrology and then the unified astrology, because then all these star systems get to be listened to. You get to listen to them, and they are bringing many messages that will allow you to connect and simplify your connection to your origin, to your highest version of yourself. And even now, through the solar eclipse, if you just stay quiet and listen how it has to say to you, like the wind, it's carrying a unique message as well for you. So listen to it, feel it.
We got a horse Winnie as well. I'll tune into that as well. Just to cover the wind, and then we'll go to comments. And I got a lot of other stuff, but thank you all for the comments. Love it. my thing to keep up with everything. Okay, so the big ass gust of wind was from Prime Creator of the Galaxy, or what people call God. So it wanted us to go into goodness more in depth, and to prove us to let this message go forward, which is, it is looking out there. Those out there, we see you. God sees you as well. God's also, this being connected to everyone's heart inside themselves, and they are looking for avatars of goodness, to beings that want to be, quote unquote, lower G gods of goodness, to be a fractal of source, integrate the tools and have the abilities and go through the mystery school and learn everything in goodness, overwhelm, and bring that as a management to the world. It is looking for people out there, those willing to take up the responsibility, and then are granted the power. You can do a bunch of integrative meditations towards that, ceremonies. Fire or baths are really good. I love baths. And then you can let go of everything that's holding you back from going within and being that already, as you accept and you give permission to God to merge with you and become one, as you integrate that power and the higher self and your source inside yourself, and you have more capability in the external, and you go along with action and your principles and morality, and you start to unfold that understanding and knowingness in your being. And as you ask questions, you can go on vision quests, you can write what comes to you in your mind, and you can learn all the different tenets of morality and goodness, and then you get granted more and more from God himself. As well as they wanted another gust of wind to let you know that they want to hug, and you to hug them back and embrace and become one and integrate. A lot of people are afraid of that type of thing, to even perceive himself as a component, an aspect, and branch of the tree of God. And you are. And they're wanting you to connect more so that nourishment flows. And they are you, so it's like getting things done with the hands, and doing more work to make things better, bringing heaven to earth. Don't be afraid. You don't be egoic and go public and stuff and like, I am a god, and nobody likes that. But be and integrate them into you as you emanate their greater chess move, and being unchanging and unconditionally loving, as you see yourself as everything in unity. That's the other thing. And I'll tune into the horse. Let's see. Go back to the comments that are building up.
Yeah. No, you didn't answer this.
Oh yeah. Sean, you mentioned that the planets are like organ systems from the macrocosmic perspective. Can you speak more about this, from our micro connection as well, and our health and well-being at this time? No, I can't. I shouldn't even said that to begin with. It's like a deep, impactful subject that will change lives if they focus on it. But wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you're willing to go in that perspective, it's a powerful one. I got that from God as well. I'm not gonna even talk on it more because I shouldn't be. So, but wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So no. Yeah, it's a powerful one. Thank you so much for the thorough response blessing. Yeah, thank you for coming. I really love you all. Hello all. Hello. Hey Jamie. Love back to you as well. Dominic Wall, have you heard of Wilson and Beckett? They say that the Budge translation of hieroglyphics is incorrect, but can translate hieroglyphics using the Welsh language because they are from there. I'm not the person to ask everything on that. I have my interpretation, but I've also found out there's so many interpretations. So I don't fully entrust them all, but I do like hearing them. Oh, there's a little spider on our phone.
Yeah.
Hello! And it's a jumping spider, which
and it's a white one with black, actually.
Yeah, so I can't show you since it's on the camera. But it's so cute, and I love the jumping spiders. They're intelligent. They look right at you in your face, so I'll tune into that as well. It's so many messages. No. Okay, this is for you. Go ahead and read it.
Yeah. Well, about what the thing about the hieroglyphs, there is, like, for instance, there is the Rosetta Stone, which was the main guide that was used for many years to know how to translate the hieroglyphs. Then it was said that it was all wrong. And, like, yeah, what can I say about that? So, yeah, no comments about that. So, in the end, they are taking a lot of the ancient texts, and there is this wall in Sahara or Sahara, where the step pyramid is, and it's a small pyramid in one of the front corners of the step pyramid, where they are using all those hieroglyphs, all those texts to translate in a more accurate form the rest of the ancient glyphs, and take from that a lot of the history of what happened to the ancient civilization, ancient Egyptian civilization. So yeah, I agree with Sean. Like, and I normally say this when you are in front of all these glyphs, you have, and even like reading in Latin, you have like the way that you were taught and the way that you feel. For instance, if you're truly connected into finding a unique message for you in a book, you can start to see how some of the letters, every specific number in between each letter, starts to pop out and brings you a unique message. So this is sovereignty, this is divinity, the capability of generating that intimate form of connection with everything that you are breathing in, that you are sensing, that you're capable to perceive its field and how it is giving you this unique feedback to you. And I truly believe that that's what we are required to do now. We are unified and we are unicity as well. So hieroglyphs are alive, they're pulsing, they're in movement. All letters are, depending on the purpose with which they were created for. In the case of the hieroglyphs, they're in motion, they're alive, they're vibrant, they're quantum, they're coming from quantum machinery, transmitting unique messages for you. So, yeah, thank you for mentioning
Can you
that.
read that one?
Do you have any book on or contact recommendations on diving deeper into the macro micro connection regarding astrology? This is all amazing insights. Thank you both. Much love. Thank you, Aaron. Well, normally I don't read a lot.
Me neither. Yeah, I tune into a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to be distracted, and we share the opinion that's like it's like muddying our own perspective with others, which would be then like if you have beliefs that are wrong, they're a little parasitic. So I tend not to just believe anyone just face fairly, but take it in and put it on a shelf and see later as I tune into stuff.
Yes. Yes. Like what I do is, for instance, I receive in a specific informational field or informational sphere, and then I get to consult. Like just to see uh, little hints. Um, in this case, about Vedic astrology. Um, yeah, it was all the information that I started translating from my space memory, from my connection with the space memory, from the lattice, all the way, and writing it down. So, but if you look for Vedic astrology, uh, I would recommend more like the most ancient, the information you tune into the best, because then it has a lot of hands in between, so it's like any ancient text. If you want to connect with the core of the information of the message, the better, the most ancient the better, because then it's like it has been touched by many minds, but by many forms of thinking. So yeah, it's
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of books on subjects, and I'll like reference them for topics. I just mostly tune into myself, and I also tend not to just believe everyone, because it's like, where is this information coming? It's probably like being channeled or something. And or look, I like looking at like with dark but successful beings like the Rockefeller said. The difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is they believe in astrology. And when he's saying that, is like events and like the stock market, and seeing the macrocosmic objects moving through the sky and influence. Not particularly necessarily personality tests and love interactions, though that can be accurate. I see there is accurate people talking about it. Though again, there's so many people getting into it, it's hard to tell who's more accurate or not. And then people just rejecting people. Oh, you're a Sagittarius. No, thank you. So, like there's every part of the star is something to integrate. And then there's sidereal astrology, is like, are you really what you are, or are you like my regular one is Aquarius, sidereally, and with Capricorn with the Sanskrit astrology, which is a little bit more accurate. And then like what's going on, like, and should I just give up all the beliefs I've taken in? Nah, it's just you integrate it, vices and virtues, understanding of your consciousness, leave out the negative stuff, learn, transcend it, take in the good stuff that you like, make your personality known, and understand what are the things that are solidified, as well as if you want to actually learn about love interest, you can. But people tend to reject things, and that's not like the best way to tell who's meant for you exactly, and unless now there is a way, there's a science to it. I think many people have like tuned into it in the most accurate way, though. So I don't really recommend books, but you can look them up out there, especially if they have a lot of detail and depth, and give you a lot of sources. Just caught the notification. Yeah, thanks for coming, Alana. Okay, overpower protected. Looking all Jesus. Thanks, appreciate that. Not intention. It's windy, and my hair would be flopping all over the place. Looking good. Thank you. From Louisiana. Wow, beautiful messages. Thank you all. And if you want to, do you want to read some?
It's okay.
Scroll down. I'll bring you to the questions. You can. Yes, you can. Miss you too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming. She was on the Egypt trip as well.
Yes.
You can translate the hieroglyphics using Welsh, is what I meant to say. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. There's a lot of the languages overlay and in the origin, so it's fun to see how they interact with each other.
Exactly.
You want to read this one?
Thoughts on Jyotish Vedic astrology that states not to be outside during an eclipse, not to be in crowds. It is also recommends to fast and to stop your everyday life to focus within. Saw this information on Instagram. Yeah, as we were saying in the beginning of this transmission, there is a lot of information coming in the field related to the origin and the effect of a solar eclipse. Um, the thing is that everything comes to perception, and for instance, if you feel the need within to go and witness the solar eclipse and you're not allowing yourself to do that because it says you saw or you read somewhere that it's not the right thing to do, then that's not generating coherence with you. I'm not saying this is the case, I'm just setting an example. So then you're not generating coherence with yourself, so therefore, as much illuminated as that advice can be, it's not generating coherence within your reality. And so every case is different, every person is different, and the best thermometer, the best indicator, the best compass I always suggest is your heart. Like, if your heart is telling you do this, even though it's different from what everybody says, even the Vedic astrology that I was talking about, that is very important, and how they embrace all that energy, it's because most likely when they give like unified or general messages, and also most of the texts were given to people that was not very responsible for their own shadow. So it's natural that they would be simplifying their experience with a solar eclipse by saying, yeah, maybe you haven't done enough shadow work. So if you tune into a solar eclipse and do rituals and so whatever, yeah, maybe you won't have the effect that you want. Maybe that can be one reason. Then again, we are here experiencing our own life, and as I was saying, you feel the the desire to go and experience and witness the solar eclipse, even though the Vedic astrology says don't go. Then just listen to your heart. Otherwise, it will generate depth within you. You know, because you're giving more worth to an external information that the one within. So yeah, they have their reasons, and it has to do with the shadow work. They do have their reasons. There is like a form of connecting and acknowledging every belief. And in this case, with the Vedic astrology, they're talking about the shadow work because if you're not conscious about what it will generate, then as everything, it will, like picking from the first thing, from the highest frequency that is in your field. Maybe it's not the best one, maybe you're going through a huge process, and maybe it's better for you to go within, instead of amplifying it, because as I was also mentioning in the beginning, well, we both were, it's about magnetic field. So what does the magnetic field does? It magnetizes, it brings in. So yeah.
Cool, wonderful. Like you said, yeah, yeah. There's gonna be some stuff when you can't read things that's gonna be a little shifty and like shadow worky, where you have to face some things in yourself that you're ready to let go of, or are holding you back, and that can be a little uncomfortable, and maybe a weight on the heart, like the government and other things are ready to release an attachment. So go within, keep going within, letting go of weights on the heart, like with the heartbeat pulsing, letting go of the attachment. And you can even read into it, and thoughts will come in your mind, show you what you're ready to let go of. As you go to silence and center in the heart. Moving more into it, let's see. There's also energy harvesting grids that will be out and about. Parasitically, they go with holidays and events, people doing dark sorcerers doing rituals. There'll be a lot of that you need to let go of. Their ability to detach into reality as you continue to. It's like kind of like you're letting go of negative entanglement parts of yourself that are your previous skins to shed, and the external world attaches to those and has effect over the things. So as you let go of them faster and faster, that negative external will have less effect over your life. And it's trying to stop me from telling you that, so that you can have the greatest, best experience in the moment. So I like it because I like shadow work and I like facing myself, and it's like weights that make me stronger. So I don't, recommend any particular thing, but if you're in a sensitive mode and you can't really handle this type of stuff, then take it slow. Staying inside does lessen it 50%. Any of that big, if overwhelming waves, but I wouldn't just like succumb to it and just lay in bed unless you're doing a nice meditation. You're hugging yourself and or a bath, or you want to go into silence because you got to go inward. Or you could also work out and do something empowering, and then give love to that heaviness, and then turn it into something that's the opposite, or the empowerment, which I also recommend. We'll go out and have fun, but there. So that would be why, because there's big shifts, and there's going to be big shifts in the micro in each person. Oh yeah, we're having
Yeah.
the prayer here, which is fun.
Yeah.
Let's see if that has a message too.
5 days a day, and the solar eclipse will be 5 stages. So five.
Yeah,
You
coming
need
from the
to.
mosques,
Yes.
they just like loudspeaker everywhere, which is lovely. Um, uh, So let's see, and then I'll name a thing so we can eventually end this, because it's like it will never end eventually with all the
Yeah.
questions. Um, okay, so another big thing people can do is integrate their true self, which is understanding there isn't actually anything of the self. Self is an illusion, but it's there for expression of life growing up in their boundaries, to understand their individuality, who they want to become, as they let go of more and more of what they aren't, and they go fully inward, which is then connecting you to the greaterness of the universe and the expanded all of interconnectedness of everything being you. So you can do that. An earth message that came through as well. Oh, yeah, I already said it. Oh, yeah. Another one, the sun message through a horn, which is it wants to connect with you on this day. And it's what can be happen, which is a healing circuit between you and the sun, which amplifies both your healing, and the sun's healing a trillion times. So you're like bringing healing energy to the sun, and it brings back even more to you, and you bring back even more to the sun, and it's like doubling it, double each time. As long as you remain in trust and you don't get greedy, it's gonna keep and amplified as like love. You expand that love with the sun, and it gets brighter and brighter and brighter as you ignite those flames in your heart. Anything you want to say on that, and I'll continue. And we got a lot of comments coming in.
Yeah, you said something very important. I mean, no, I'm talking about now how to nourish the sun as well, because normally we are open just to receive, and what are we receiving, and what, like what we'll be experiencing based on what we will be receiving. And it's also very important to see what are we giving, to that consciousness, that beautiful consciousness of the sun and the moon. And because then that's what we are magnetizing. What we are is what we magnetize. So at different scales, different readings, but like simplifying it, it's that way. So if you are also very aware of what you're bringing into the field, then it's most likely that you will know what you are receiving. And for that is very important the self-knowledge, all that introspection. Because even though you say, yeah, I'm emanating love, yeah, I'm pure love, and then again, your different onion layers or fractals, you have all this information, like a cocktail of everything, because we are a wholeness, and you're not aware of the specific things that you're emanating, and then you're attracting something else than what you're trying to magnetize, and you say, what's happening? So then again, that introspection, to feel, to tune in within what you are really vibrating and emanating right now, to see. So it's a big responsibility, when you're when you're facing all this overwhelming energies. And by overwhelming, I mean that it can go like in a positive or in a negative way, or in a, yeah, to be to bring to shift it into neutrality. And so yeah, it's very important to know what you're emanating, so that you know what you will be receiving somehow. You cannot always control this, because we're multidimensional beings. Nevertheless, the more we know about ourselves, and the more we are giving, the more that we are tuning into that force of love that the source to all is. And all these events generate love and expand love, and they're coming from a space of love. And then it's easier for us to create plans to integrate all this information from a higher mind, as we're connecting with them from the higher heart.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's catch up on comments. I said Welsh is an ancient language. Thank you, Dominic. Welshes are correctly called Combri. Okay, thank you. Wilson. And Beckett also discovered that academics have duplicated the history of Egypt into 3 kingdoms when in fact there was only 1 kingdom. Okay. I also know about the Upper and Lower Egypt, and there's like people calling things stuff. Okay, lovely. Thank you. Sending and receiving love. Thank you. Yeah, sending as well. Overwhelming integration is like staying high without coming down. Thanks for that. Okay. So going in, anything you want to say on that, or I can continue.
Yeah, and just thank you for all your comments. And yeah, if you, Dominic, go into like every ancient language, for instance, even the Hawaiian, that we also had a lot of information of that in the trip, um, honoring Christopher. And yeah, there are a lot of roots, even in the Mayan one as well. Like they're all connected. It's an entangled universe, and the more we see them in of those codes, the more that we see that they use like a mold and then spread it, and that mold was as it was spread, it would acquire a different frequency based on the area where it is located, because the earth has its own frequency and its own consciousness, so it would adopt all those molds of information and bringing into a specific area code. So but they are all together.
Okay, Donkey, we got a message from here too. Okay, we'll see what that is. Okay, so I'll just go through the messages and then we'll. Okay, so. Okay, we got a message from the horse previously. So that wanted to be. Oh yeah. So one of the main manager consciousnesses of Earth's excretory system, and the concept of micro and macro spiritual, how to release stuff at a high level that has a high level attachment, such as evil or purifying, what to get out of your systems, toxins, etc. That is being increased at a high level, a billion times. So Earth wants to, and that management wants to work with everyone to release more of them, what they're holding on to, what's holding them back, what's ready to be let go of. And you can work with that system at a greater level, and it will amplify what you have internally. And then you can arise and ascend faster back into what you previously held in consciousness, as you're anchored into the physical body and gaining all the good stuff of that. Okay, and then there's something else in Matrix Evil that doesn't want me to say something. It's more into letting go of evil, so yeah, I'll tune into that in a bit. Okay, the spider that went on the camera had to do with our background, which this mountain. There seems to, yeah, it's okay with letting you guys know. There's underground dream founder, which has to do with, species, like dream weavers. So, it is willing to let you guys know about it and to trade with it and increase your dream amplification, your healing, your abundance, your how well you perceive all the abilities in the mystery school. Let me see if I can get that camera right on there that well. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then it wants to work with you guys if you want through a filtering audio managed process by the truth and original source. Recommend anytime you trade with beings in general and support you. Trade. It can catch your dream predators like a dream catcher and remove the threats and repair dreaming. Unite you with your soul family through dreams, which then can also meet you in physical eventually afterwards if you ever dreamed people before you met them. It can help you with positive connections in your dreams and help you with detachment and then many other things as you go through at school and work with them. the wind also. If you want to, feel free to put up your hand if you want to
Yes,
make a
yes.
comment. You want to comment?
No, sorry.
Okay. The wind again also went into Dream Manager from behind with this mountain, which there's a river underwater we tuned into, and a local told us about it. We tuned it, went into dream upgrades, and such as lucidity in this dream, so which takes amplifying truth and bringing it to the awareness and realizing what this reality is more about. Is another prayer, you know. Okay. Yeah, and then yeah, tapping into the river of that dream knowledge and amplifying your truth sun inside, so that you can go more lucid in this dream and make the effects of what it happens when you are lucid in this dream, and same as lucid in other dreams, you can fly and do stuff and manifest and travel around, shapeshift, all that. Okay. Then the prayer before went into Allah coming through, which is a fractal of the prime creator galaxy source God. And of course, there's some negative predators that will try to take up anytime a being tries to claim, and then there is a name for God, but that's not the one that's contacting it. It would be a fractal of source. And it wants to talk about that and going into being reconnecting all your fractals of self in unity, but also boundaries and detachment from the negative things that you don't want anymore. And then in interconnectedness in healing, and then amplify your faith in yourself as the all, in that connectiveness and expanding. Another wind went into the Nile, wanting to talk because it's doing better, and knock on wood, we wanted to help the Nile quite a bit and the consciousness of it, which it also reflects, because they wanted us to talk about it reflects you internally too. It reflects a current between the spirit and the heart, as well as the current of oxygenated blood to the heart and the rest of the body and the veins. So it's like a system of current in that, and represents, and as many other things too, macroly in the Milky Way above, and the chakra system and the spinal system, and other cool stuff, as well as other places on the planet, like in China or Mississippi River, and other cool places that represent the stars reflecting and going up and down in the body, that we can see and make better and stronger and working well. And then as you come to Egypt, you kind of see what it's dealing with at a micro level, with how, like when you look at in the microscope, how's your blood doing, what's in your blood, is there parasites, all that kind of stuff, and then how to make everything more healthy and better. Yes. Okay. Anything else in the comments? Just one last thing about Egypt's brief period of monotheism. Akhenaten started to worship of Aten because he was indoctrinated into Yahweh worship when he got captured. You want to say anything about that, Isa?
Yeah, well, there is a lot of information then again in those big topics, as it is Akhenaten, and whether if it was a cult or whether if it was about spiritual science. Um, for my unified consciousness, as a unified consciousness, what I perceive is that the Aten was sacred and was divine, as it is talking about the plasma sphere that we are capable to generate from within our body, and also as the plasma generators that would fill in the arcs. So, spiritual science. And that part of Yahweh or Yahweh, and whether if he was Moses or whether, like many information, as I was mentioning, that is in the field, I believe that somehow that is part of the bridge, what is going beyond everything that we were said, like Ramses the second was that character that kick out Moses. So that's a big shift. Nevertheless, I feel that there is still a lot of information to come into the field to bring that clarity that this period deserves, because Akhenaten was the last member of the galactic community in the Atlantean civilization. So, yeah, for me, it's very important to remain open, not to tag, like any form of belief. Otherwise, we are replicating that story of one truth, and that brings the reason to separate us. And that I know that that was one of the main messages of Aten, which was to unify the beliefs, because he never casted away polytheism. He was just saying, like, hey, you don't need to have a cult of something that you are already, and then put it outside of you and keep on adoring it so intensely, then at some point you will forget that you are that which you're adoring. So unified consciousness is about assuming ourselves as the creator, the co-creation, and the creation itself of what we are doing. Also honoring the other, our mirrors.
Mm.
And yeah, so yeah, it is related to what you say, and also they're like at different scales, and also many information is going to keep on uh, coming into the popping into the field. Actually, I'm writing a book on that, so yeah.
Yes, as the horse and the saw blades. Add more messages. So, who knows when we'll have to end this. Okay, so yeah, on that, yeah, I say with every religion there's okay, whatever that is. I'll look in that. Okay, every religion there's a good and a bad. Like I say with the Bible. Let's get a little shot of that. It's like acting like King Kong. Oh, you got another horse. Okay. My God, it's chatty today. We go. I even have time to go into these messages.
Yeah, actually, we moved to the desert.
Yeah, we can't. Okay, well, we'll go into that so quick. Yeah, with each religion, it's like as an example, the Bible, it can either free you or it can slave you. It depends on how in depth you into it. There's different teachers involved in it, and there's corruption trying to control it. There's good teachers, all that. Same thing with every religion. Anytime with monotheism, the good will be it points you to there's one greater connectivity of oneness, and that like fractals to everything. The negative would be if anything hijacks it, because like in the Bible example, it's like the merging of 6+ gods together and pretending they're all one. And it is technically one, but then there's different voices in people's heads, and then they assuming it's the Lord, and whatever that means. So we'll see. And then there would be different points in time when that's true, versus if it's another being claiming that, and that can be different messages. So it's good things to look out for. It makes it complicated, but yeah, a lot of things are complicated, but as you understand and know them, they get simpler. Okay, let me just go through everything. Okay, we're here to read my comment. Explain more about dream weaving. It's like reality creating, putting things together. Everything is a dream, technically. You could call it other stuff too. It's like the foundations of things as you're like building them from concept of mind and thought to more and more solidity into existence, to like a really solidified dream such as this. And then manifesting and making things happen, and creations and what it takes to do that. And these psychics have told me about I'm a dream weaver, but I don't completely understand what that means. Yeah, so you create things, and as you understand the skills and the abilities involved in that, and go in deep in the mystery school and meditate and integrate the knowingness, as you focus on it, the truth of it, and it starts to unfold step by step by step in the manual that's in your heart, of the remembering of what you've been. Good luck to both of you in your further endeavors. Thank you. Yeah, we'll be doing more things like Egypt, setting up business, Mexico, maybe things in England, Japan, India. Let us know if you're interested in traveling. We'll have like mystery schools and teaching and cool things to discover and having good times and going to sacred places, unlocking the empowerment in the self and going to many big places of power, and then telling you about them. And then so many things that just propel you lifetimes ahead in a single lifetime, which will be wonderful. Maybe I can finish a little bit into the... Okay. From goodness, Neath came to me on Easter. Thank you for commenting though. Donkey Noise was from Egypt, and the other one from the Nile, saying that they'd love to connect with you guys in the healing, like with the sun, to where you give them healing, they give you more healing. You give them more healing, it just keeps doubling. Same thing with the Nile, same thing with Egypt. They want to connect with you on the audience, and they'll amplify your healing tremendously. Screams. I'll tune into that. Anything you want to say at the end?
Yeah, just to mention quickly about, I said the 108 code, or the 108 code. So I'm just going to synthesize it. If you're curious about what this code means, it's related to the code 9, which is it's about mathematics, and how, for instance, if you then again Vedic, it's 108 mala. In the mala, it's 108 beats. That is the 108 names of Buddha, which is a code related to 9 cubes of 9 digits each cube. So it is a 999, or 9 to the cube. It's 108. And what's up with the 9? Well, if you think about it in old Arabic numbers, the 9 is the only one that repeats upside down, or being the 6 upside down. So then we bring the 69, and it's kind of related to the frequency of the solar eclipse, because it's generating the two forces, which in this case would represent the moon and the sun coming together and generating a point zero, or this vacuum, which is towards the earth, and then again this huge gateway for manifestation.
All said. And to finish up, the donkey, there's a horse, so scream. Well, yeah. So there's a bunch of horse noises. So that went into the matrix, willing to say something. So there's a lot of different types of matrices. Most things in this reality, abilities, energy, all that, it's not made by the evil forces. Evil steals everything. So the matrices in originality are for the good side. So the matrix of Earth has, in its originality, has a good purpose. Many different aspects. It is needing lots of purification, and it also wants you to remind you, you are the matrix. And so it wants to be purified, restored to its original purpose, healed, freed, and that vice versa. You being freed, or, a lot of things go along with that. So there's that. The screams coming from the person I'm getting as a reflection of your soul, really wanting your attention. Hey, look at me. I'm the soul. I got secrets. I got the keys. I got like the reflection of everything. Look in your soul. It's in the solar plexus. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There's a lot of stuff there to resolve and heal and purify and make better, because there's dormant abilities, power, memory, remembering in your soul. Go deep into your soul. Journey there. Okay, anything else in the messages? Then we gotta go. Oh yeah, the spider's back. Yay. Oh yeah, there's so many things I want to talk. I don't know if we can. Okay, yeah, we gotta go soon.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Message from yep. So I've been seeing. Yep. Thank you. Okay. Anything else you want to finish on?
Thank you again for also sharing your time with us and watching this transmission live or after. Looking forward to share with you most of the experiences that we have weaved here, and looking forward for our next adventures. And as Sean was saying, we will be creating a lot of them, so you have plenty of options to join in. So thank you, and sharing with you this beautiful frequency of this magnificent mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's offering more stuff. It's going to be blasting you with dream upgrades. So get them while you can. Of course, audit, filter, and everything. So because you trust. Love you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you, and then look out for more trips and to come, please. It's very enjoyable, very activating experience, life changing. Become your greatest self, and yes,
Superhuman love.
yes, yeah, exactly. Superhuman love, expand, help the world, make things better, spread that love. Don't be afraid of the eclipse. Many things to come, all shifting to the better. Everything is conscious. There's a divine order to things. The lesser aspects of the divine order and the free will of the negative chess moves, but all can be held in divine order again as you center into yourself and become the truth, alignment, and oneness, and see the understanding of it all. And then with that comes knowing compassion, empathy, love, and understanding everyone externally, even the suffering, and then transcending it all. Thank you all for coming. Love you very much. Can't remember how to end this, but I'll do things. Yeah, maybe that's.
Yeah.
Bye. See you
Bye.
later. Is that it? Okay, cool.